Thank you. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. My name's Ryan, and glad to be here with you this morning. I want to kick off with a little introduction to one of our newest corporate store locations we're excited about. And while we let a few more people trickle in the room, I want to share this video with you. It's a new FlexServe model we're super excited about, just opened in Holland, Michigan, and kind of a powerhouse mega center double interior cleaning. So I want to share that with you first while we get started here. So you might look at that and say, well, it's nothing new, interior cleaning, been done for years, but we believe that's a new powerhouse mega center model. What's different about it is that the interior cleaning process can be virtually guaranteed in under 10 minutes today, and the Unlimited Club model's really changed everything. It's created an experience where customers can come in once a month or even more for an unlimited price, and so they keep their interior cleaner. We're building these as kind of like a hub and spoke model around where the center of town might have a flex model like this, mega center, and express washes around it. And it has the ability to be a unique new opportunity. Express washes really disrupted the full service washes of the old days. The full serve used to have to kind of plan your day around. It was 30 minutes or more. And this has really come not full circle, but in a sense of forward movement and new innovation because of that under 10 minutes and the Unlimited Club factor. Most people choose not to do the interior every time they come, so we make it real easy for them to wash at all the express washes around town and then come to this mega center, so to speak, in the middle. So something we're really excited about is a new model. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, what's new with our locations, we're building the Ultra Mini Tunnel. So this is a super small site, 60 feet long. We call it the World Model, really designed for the international markets for where they don't necessarily need to wash 200 cars an hour, in really small towns and downtowns. So this is the replacement for the rollover and in-bay automatic car wash. We've done many in-bay conversions over the years, pretty popular item. However, one of the struggles with in-bay conversions has been that they just change the equipment, don't change the processes, the mentality, and the culture that actually creates it a high processing tunnel. So in-bay conversions have been successful, but this is also a model where you could tear down rollovers and build on a quarter-acre piece of land in conjunction with a gas station. So we're having a little bit of fun with the models, designs, trying to serve every community and market. Well, this seminar is part of a series we've done for over a decade, and thank you for being with us today. The past seminars you can see on youtube.com/TommyWash. It turns out this year, really the theme maybe should be that you actually have to operate car washes. It seems like the industry is just realizing that, and some of the hot money we talked about in past seminars coming in is finding that you can't just buy them and build them, you have to run them. So kind of fun to see the evolution and change and all that happening, and how really all comes back to good operations at the end of the day. Today we're going to teach you some tactics on this network effect and how we believe you can make a safer investment and a smart investment in this industry. We're here to help. My grandfather and his brother started in 1969 and is the third generation. We're taking it to the next level, operational excellence and site development mastery. There's no piece of equipment I haven't worked on in 25 years in my career or process. My father, Tom, got in the industry his whole life, but wanted to really dedicate his life mission to helping other people get in the business, having been successful before. Wanted to help others, and we do that today through one of the largest equipment manufacturing companies called Tommy's, and then one of the largest, fastest growing franchises today. So last year we talked about future technology. If you weren't here, check it out online, AI and how driverless cars are going to play a role into our future. This year we're going to share some ridiculously cool data about crossover washing and what we call the network effect and how stores can add value to each other. It's data that the PE firms and the big chains already know, and the reason why they pay a lot of money to buy locations and bring them all together into a larger pot, because they add value to each other and have an advantage over smaller chains. We'll share that with you today on how that goes. We've got some great team lined up for you. Two of the smartest people I know after me will be Andrew Van Wylen, a genius of data science and engineering, and Alex Lemmen, the CEO of Tommy's Express Car Wash. And then I'll be back up at the end for a Q&A. But before I do, I want to share a quick story with you. It was just a couple years ago. There was an old man, a boy, and a donkey, and they were going to this town. And the boy was riding on the donkey while the old man was walking along beside it. And then they were walking to this town, and when they got there, the people looked at them and they started talking, and they said, "How awful is it that the old man has to walk?" So the boy and the man looked at each other, thought maybe they're right. So they switched places. The man got on the donkey, the little boy walked beside it. When they came to the next town, the people there started talking and said, "How awful is it that he makes that little boy walk?" They looked at each other, thought maybe they're right. So they decided they'd both get off the donkey and walk beside it. On their way, they get to the third town, and in the third town, the people there look at them and say, "How stupid are you guys to be walking when you have a perfectly good donkey to ride?" They looked at each other, thought maybe they're right. So they decided to both get on the donkey and ride it together. They're riding along on the donkey together. They get to the next town, and the people there say, "How awful are you guys to put such a load on that poor little donkey?" They looked at each other, thought maybe they're right. So they picked the donkey up and they put the donkey on their backs. They're walking along carrying the donkey on their backs, and on the way to the next town, they had to cross over a deep ravine, and there was a bridge over the ravine, and they got the donkey on their backs. They start walking across the bridge. They get to the middle. They start shaking, lose their balance. They fall over, crash to the bottom, and everybody died. If you listen to everybody's opinion, you too could lose your ass. So the opinions, thanks. The opinions of customers, the opinions of a salesperson, the opinions of even an experienced operator, all well-intentioned and genuine support. A salesperson maybe who's pushed a product for a lot of years that has ways to add value, but maybe it's old technology and isn't adapted to the new modern era. There's also existing operators who are great, can help so much and be genuinely supportive, but maybe have a narrow mindset of what they've experienced in their region or with their business model. And even the experience and opinions of your own customers can mislead you. I've seen people destroy their business by listening to their customers. We've all heard of the silent majority. There's also such thing as a loud minority. The people in your ear talking to you, and you zigzag your business around these changes along the way, and without intention, by listening to them, adapt to the minority and really alienate the masses, okay? So we're going to share with you a better way today. This is statistically factual, proven data that can say this is better than that in these processes and experience for many operators. We do it in a crowdsourcing-like manner. There are provable better ways of doing things. We've traveled the world to find these processes, bring them all together, and incorporated them into the industry's largest unified operator network, and to crowdsource more data and ideas going forward and feed them back through that platform ongoing as a business opportunity. The question you really need to ask yourself today and this week while you're here at the car wash show is, if you were building a restaurant, are you here looking for a French fry maker and a fountain pop machine? Or are you looking for a brand to join like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's that you could be a part of? This is, in my opinion, a risky situation. Going alone today without a team might be the fastest way to lose money. This is our hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's 16 Mr. Car Washes today. Used to be 30 independent small chains and independently owned car washes. Today that's 16 Mr. It's a publicly traded company, powerhouse, essentially unlimited capital, can do anything. In between is 10 Tommy's Express car washes, some corporate owned, some owned by franchise partners of ours. There's really no getting in the game today without the insurance of having a team rowing with you. If you look to your left, look to your right in this room. Do you perceive the person next to you as a competitor Or could they be a potential contributor, an asset and support resource to your business while all working together and owning your own independent business? And that's what we'll share with you today. The first time I went to a franchise convention, my eyes were opened instantly. I couldn't believe it. Our industry's been doing it the hard way for a lot of years. What I realize is that the masses and majority of successful retail businesses have franchise programs. They build on platforms, they row together as a team, and they share data where they all benefit the whole. If you had to go up against this crew right here in a race, or we're trying to get to the other side of the lake, is everybody gonna just jump in the water and start swimming? Because that's kind of what the industry is doing today. Or would you go out and look for the best boat you can find, put together the best rowing team, and all play to win? We're here to serve, help, and assist in every way we can. We have 50 years in the business, nearly 200 locations, and it's our only mission to help car wash operators become successful in this industry. Here's a quick video of our infrastructure and how we do that, new headquarters in Holland, Michigan. I'll give you a quick tour of it. Today, over 400 team members, equipment manufacturing, soap blending, 24/7 site support, software developers in-house. Quite a team. That's our new facility. So my name's Ryan. I'll be back up at the end for Q&A, and help me welcome to the stage Andrew Van Wylen.
Thank you, Ryan, and good morning, everyone. It's good to be here with you. There's three things I want to just talk about with this group this morning. First, I want to offer some perspective of how you might go about looking at the show. And rather than looking at individual equipment items or point-of-sale systems, to really challenge yourself to look for the right partner. I'm going to talk about some of the characteristics of what the right partner or platform might have for you. Ryan talked about crossover network washing. We're going to look at some nationwide statistics from Tommy's Express. We have a unique perspective of having nearly 200 stores and being able to share the national perspective, site perspective, and consumer perspective of what it looks like to take advantage of network stores. And finally, going to share the value that's unlocked by having stores and density with network washing and the increased value and revenue for a location when they have a lot of network washes happening. First, some perspective and maybe advice of how to go about the show and what you might want to be thinking about. We often see success in working with a full platform provider, someone that you can work with all the way from site selection to site layout, architectural, equipment, controls, detergents, who's going to work alongside of you along the entire process of opening your store, making sure that a clean, shiny car comes out the other side. Who's going to be alongside of you, tied to your success along the whole journey. You've seen, attending this show, that there's been a revolution in point-of-sale systems and digital marketing technologies. You want to make sure that whoever you're working with is taking advantage of the best-in-class cloud-based technologies because you need them to meet the needs of a modern consumer. Do they have a proven training and operations model? Do they have success that you envy in their own stores and of customers of theirs that they can tell you about and show you the pathway to replicate that success? They should be credible in offering that. And finally, an innovative mindset. This is really important. How do you know in that idea of choosing a platform or a partner to work with for 5, 10, 20 years, how are they going to keep you ahead of what the rest of the industry is doing in the long term? Leaning a little further into that innovation mindset and whether or not it's the right partner, some questions you might want to have on your mind. How do you know they're going to help you stay ahead over the next 10, 20 years? Are they making the investments and showing results that working with them long-term is going to benefit your retail operations and protect your business. Ultimately, you might end up looking at what's their track record. Our industry over the last 10 years has seen some huge innovations. Belt conveyor systems, modular construction methods helping us build sites more quickly with a more architectural appeal, often being our biggest marketing asset is the appearance of the building. Are they utilizing license plate recognition, cloud-based point-of-sale systems for greater uptime and marketing capabilities? Do they have app-based membership systems, again, meeting the needs of today's consumers and their expectations? Is there a franchise process or a training and operations model that you can follow within the design of the equipment and the systems, a roadway to be successful? And finally, do they meet the needs for processing? Is the equipment capable of keeping up to your ambitions? Within this, there's both operator-serving innovations and consumer-facing innovations. The app-based memberships, belt conveyor systems, these are things that help us meet the needs of our consumers, and you want to make sure a partner you're working with is working on those innovations too. To share an example of what I mean by truly innovating on the consumer side, I want to share an example product that Tommy Car Wash has here today at the show, and it's a new molded mat washer. And sharing this just as an example of what consumer-focused innovation looks like, not just within our operations or ease of maintenance. We've had consumers find us at just local municipal events in our city of Holland. We don't have one of these at every single location, but they come to us saying, I'm now driving 20 minutes just for the one location that has one of these molded mat washers. And the example there is just making sure that you have a partner that's deeply tied to the consumers and thinking about what they want on your behalf and innovating and thinking of the needs that they can help you serve to move your washes forward. I said I was going to talk about crossover stats. How many of you are curious just what this network effect looks like around the country? How many times are big chains seeing washes going between locations? What I wondered about a year ago is where do we stand between cell towers and gym memberships? On any given day, I bet all of us in this room have bounced between 2 or 3 cell towers, if I had to guess, going from our hotel here to the show. How many of us have a gym membership? I've got one. There's a few of us here. How many times do you go away from your home gym? Once or twice a year if it's part of a larger chain, so not that frequent. So we wondered, where does car wash stand along this spectrum of very frequent to less frequent crossover? When we look at our Tommy's Express stores in 2022, 8% of all washes were being performed away from the home site of the guest. And we saw growth in that from 22 to 23, in which 10% of all washes last year were done at a site that was not their home site, so we consider that a network wash. We see the growth in this being highly tied to building out density in markets and the growth of the chain overall. We expect this number to be larger in 2024. Let's consider the site perspective. For an individual location, what does this look like? How many washes am I sending elsewhere, and how many washes am I accepting from other home locations? The short of it is that it differs depending on the market that they're in. If we look at Site A is washing 16% of its total wash volume is coming from another location on the network. So it's very well connected to other locations. Meanwhile, it's sending 13% to other locations that are on the network. Conversely, Site B is a little less connected to the network. It's accepting 3% and sending 3% out. If you knew the story of these two stores, Site B is on a little bit of an island, and Site A is in a more densely built-out market. And we expect all locations to trend towards Site A and the network washes to grow over time. What's the guest perspective of this? The short is that over 30% of members are using more than one location, and we can see that a combined nearly 12 to 13% are actually using 3 to 4 locations throughout the calendar year. And what we take away from this is that there's tremendous value perceived by knowing that someone has more than one location to conveniently wash their vehicle at. And being a part of a network where there's other locations increases the value if you're just a single store operator. So what's the real value of this? And I'm going to rewind to explain a little bit of the finances of how network washing works, because sometimes we have different operators owning two stores that are serving a group of members. So network wash is simply for accepting a wash in or sending a wash out from a location. How do the finances work when this happens? Single member who's washing at several different locations, really simple numbers. If a monthly membership price is $25 and that member washes 5 times, maybe it washes 3 times at its home site, site A, once at site B and once at site C, the $25 membership becomes prorated across the 5 washes that occurred during that month. The value is then $5. Site A, having washed that member 3 times, gets $15, C, $5, and B, $5 as well. So it becomes prorated based on wash volume. Just tactically, that's how we handle it to explain this. So we did a study of all of our stores, 138 locations that have been open for at least 2 years. And we asked the question, what's the value of being very connected to the network and exchanging washes with other locations amongst our members? Across those 138 locations that have been open for over 2 years, we bin them into 3 categories. Call it low, medium, and high network effect happening at these stores. We categorize the low group as our control of having less than 600 network washes per month, the moderate group being 600 to 2,400 network washes on a monthly basis, and the high impact of being 2,400 or more network washes per month. You've probably already read the conclusion on the slide. The moderate group shows a 26% increase in revenue throughout the calendar year for those in the moderate group as compared to that control group that had low network interaction. The highest group with 2,400 or more monthly network washes, we saw a 35% increase in revenue relative to the control group, showing the value of being densely located, members having multiple locations to wash at, and the increase in revenue of being a part of a network. Question I'll leave with you is, what can the right platform and being a part of the right network do for you and your location? Thank you, and I'll turn it over to Alex Lemmen, our CEO.
Thanks. All right, good morning. Thanks, Andrew. I'm going to spend a little time hopefully further clarifying and elaborating on both network effects that Ryan and Andrew brought up. Ryan talking about the B2B impact of having other operators on your team, and Andrew sharing the stats from the consumer level. Before we do that, you got to understand the marketplace that we're all competing in here in the U.S., and this is data some of you might be familiar with. Don't fact check the numbers. These might be a few weeks stale, and some groups are building like crazy. But this shows the top 20 retail brands in our industry. And what you'll notice, there's a few highlighted there that are privately held. The rest are private equity backed or have some type of a sponsor. One is publicly traded. I'm going to play a little graphic that shows how the quick service restaurant evolved in our industry from the early 70s until today and explain what we believe is happening in car washing. On that prior slide, while some of the big brands in our space have 400, 300, 200 locations, we're still incredibly fragmented as an industry, far more than many industries. The top 10 brands only control about 10% of operating locations. In quick service restaurants, that used to be true. Today, the top 10 brands are about 50% or even more. And so this is kind of fun. You can root for which brands you like there as they grow. But we still believe in our industry. You've heard some talk this week of overbuilding or saturation. And while that might be true in pockets, we still believe we're in inning number 1 of a 9-inning game and at the start of a long-term build-out of new technologically advanced car washes in the space. And we think our industry is going to evolve a lot like this, with many of the brands just shown on the prior slide and some regional operators who are not, that are good operators, leading the charge because they understand and are already reaping the benefits of having multiple locations and getting the revenue increase from network effect. There's 2 other things that we found. Expandable demand that is proven when you're building a network of stores. We had a couple corporate stores that were stuck, it seemed, at 5,000 members and just couldn't crack up above that. We built a couple more locations within a 5-mile radius, and now they're all over 7,000 today. And that just shows the increase in the value proposition for the consumers to join the club. And in that instance, we own all 3, but if it had been a franchise partner of ours, they would have reaped the benefits too. 9 out of the 10 brands on the prior slide exercise the B2B network effect concept. You don't have to go it alone. You can own your own business and be part of a larger brand and be in business for yourself but not by yourself. That concept is franchising. 9 of 10 of those brands are franchising. Starbucks is hitting it home without being a franchisor. But there's many benefits of franchising. Municipalities recognize the brands and know they're going to be well taken care of and held to a high standard by their franchisor. Banks get familiar with franchise concepts, and they think if Joe is signing up to build a car wash, it's not just Joe's reputation that they're trying to learn. They understand the track record and credibility behind it. Owner-operators get a platform to succeed on, but still own your own business. Innovation flies wicked fast because all of your stores are laid out the same, and you're all coming up with ideas and pushing them out to everybody at once. And consumers love franchise brands and recognizable brands, as evidenced on the prior slide. One thing that I think is so neat about our brand is the perspective that you can study and how quickly you can implement those ideas to the benefit of every operator. So we study global trends, global car washing, the automotive space, that's the General Motors logo, car washing, which you'll see a lot of this week, but there's a lot to learn from other retail brands and franchise concepts, McDonald's, Amazon, other subscription concepts. And you probably haven't heard a lot of learnings from those models shared this week. We study those sometimes more than car washing. We're watching AI technology very closely, and then we have a network of well over 100 franchise owners that we get to crowdsource ideas from. And that's big development companies. We might have a franchisor that owns 50 McDonald's. We have doctors in the system. One of ours sends us more marketing ideas than anyone else. But it's the importance of you're bringing all the experiences of those other owners and their backgrounds into one network and pushing it out to the team, which is 200 stores nationwide. I'm going to share a video that highlights some of the success that can be achieved when having that level of synergy as a team.
Dangerous. the same ones that I died with. Put it all out on the line with. If you're looking for me, you can find wit in the new car or the crown with. My new broad does a fine chick in the weather squad. I'm down with. Ain't no way around it. What you say? Tell me what you say. Working hard, repping for my dogs. Do this every day. Taking off, looking out for all. Making sure we ball like the mob. All you do is call. Catch you if you fall. Young Khalifa. I never fear death or dying. I only fear never trying. I am whatever I am. Only God can judge me now. One shot, everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it.
All right, so that was very Tommy-centric. If there were other franchise examples in our space, we'd share them. We really believe in the power of the model. Small businesses are what build the economy in the country, but none of that is possible without the network effect. That's 100 owner-operators who pick those locations in their hometown, are interacted with their Chamber of Commerce. You saw the Site Leader Summit, the ability to bring managers from all of our stores together and train them in the same way. None of it's possible without the network effect that we're talking about. This is another example, just quite literally in market format. Ryan presented a few years ago and said in the next 5 years, there's about to be the most money ever made in car washing and the most money lost. This is, if you're getting into the business today or exiting your concept if you're already in and looking to restart, this is the Gulf Coast of Florida. The blue dots are one chain, the orange are another big chain, pink another big chain. You could open one location in the middle, and you're trying to sell a club membership to people there that can only wash at that location. The alternative is opening as part of one of the large chains, and all of a sudden you're part of being the market share leader, capitalizing on that incredible B2C or consumer network effect. We're going to play one more video here, and then we're going to open for Q&A that just shows an annual convention we do for operators. Again, not so much to show the aspects of Tommy's, but the aspects of the benefits from all of owner-operators collaborating together, yet owning their own business.
Favorite part of Timing Club 2024?
All the new people you get to meet.
The best marketing presentation that I've seen at any of the company clubs or this.
Round tables.
Jeff, no. He really brought something to me.
As you probably heard and you can tell, we're really passionate about building the best car washes in the country, but more passionate about helping others do it, and always looking for people who want to join the team. So we're at booth 2143. Hope this helped you understand the consumer and operator network effect in the industry. Thank you.